Thank you for tuning in to Voices of Courage 2020 with your host, Brandy J. How are you doing today? I hope well, and let's just jump right into it because what else are we going to do? I just want to start by saying that there's nothing good, great about a bully. And a little bit later, we'll get more into why that wasn't something that was anywhere of concern in this voting in this election. I find it concerning, and I won't drop it because it's it's just it's unnecessary. It's everything. It's pitiful. It's pitiful and it's disgusting. It's inhumane. It's not a good look. Children deal with this on a daily basis, and if adults can't get it together, what chance do they have? So let's just keep it all the way funky and 100 and call it what it is. Okay, if you are someone that uses your sorry intimidation and tactics to scare others out of voting or whatever it may be, come on, grow up, go home, explain it to your kids what happened, because they're watching. They're watching this pathetic display of a human being that people are calling American. There's nothing American about this. This is just weak people that are being led by hatred and can't even tell the difference when if someone cares for you or not. No one that cares for people are going to walk them into destruction and mayhem and say nothing and put you in danger. That's not what someone does that's a leader. That's common sense. And so people wonder, they get angry when people have comments about who's voting for who. Yes, that's someone's business. But let's not think smarter. Do you see what's happening right now? Yeah. So therefore, people should have did a lot more research before they voted. What I learned was that a lot of people, because the media, what it does, and if you don't know that by now, then that's it's kind of sad if you made your choices off the media and the news and you not once sought out any truths, because so many things were going on that I found out that people did not know. You know, when where I came from in all this was lives. Economy don't freaking matter if you're not alive to be in it, deal with it. What worth? I mean, come on. How does that top human lives? Make it make sense. I'm waiting. Yeah, got nothing. So when you get people telling you stuff that makes no sense, saying stop victimizing it, this is the point. A lot of people didn't know that what people have been dealing with as far as when it comes to Black lives. And I'll tell you this much in the nicest possible way. You need to go ahead and borrow that person's shoes and put them on. Put your child in that place in your head and imagine if that was your child going against these things. These things are happening right now, not from 400 years ago. No one's carrying for you 100 years ago baggage. It's right now. These things are happening right now. Lives are being lost very more than often. And in a lot of other places. And for that to be someone's concern and someone to turn around and tell others that uh, stop, victim, it's just that's where you're just like, okay, this is enough is enough. People need to go take, several seats and rethink again because that's not what this is about at all. But what I did learn from having these listening, because a lot of people don't do that, is that people were not aware of these things. They weren't aware that people like Breonna Taylor and her family are dealing with that they're not getting the justice and that they're not being heard. What they're dealing with, the racism, the hate, and to speak out and no one, everyone wants to throw the blame around versus just being empathetic and kind. Try that out for size, and if that's what your child was your child. Do your homework. If you are listening to people give you information about a situation and you never once looked it up or read it, I find that very disheartening because you can't turn back if even if you were. But from the looks of it, let's go ahead and get into it. Does anybody know what's going on here? The violence and the craziness from counting these ballots. Are you listening to the foolery that's going on here? The sad part is some people, a lot of people, too many people with children believe what people say. Leadership should be in good standing and have purpose, truth, honesty, and some ethics. And it must be logical because you'll lead people right into a dark pit. And that's no leader. Okay, that's a monster. Okay, people will say things to you over and over and over and over and over again because repetition is one of the biggest ways to get someone to start thinking differently. You got to be aware of that. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. Okay, this whole cheating thing and getting people riled up and lying, that's what you voted for, right? Okay, just know that. While you were sitting there thinking about the economy and blah 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 blah, that you forgot about human lives, the people that are going crazy right now, and don't try to shift the blame around because you're just as blameful if that's the case. Okay, it is what it is. These people are out here being harmful, doing the same exact thing that they claimed someone else was doing for equality and to stop being killed. Who does that? What kind of sense does that make? When there's no logic and sense, common sense, and no ethics in it, you need to sit down and rethink that you drink the Kool-Aid. This right here is being struck by false information on some ballots that are being counted. Oh, everything. The only thing that's wrong is the ones that he's losing it, that he's not challenging. How do you go file a lawsuit? Where do they do that at? Who thinks this ever happened before? And there's some people that's really sitting here weak minded and believing this mess. Think for yourselves, people. Are you like a follower of Jesus? Do you believe in God? Are you a Christian? I'm just asking. Because if you are, you might want to rethink that. Because this man is no Christian or God, Jesus, or anything. But yet, people are out here treating him as one. For what? How? Compare him to some things, but it won't be that. Nothing. That would not be what a Christian is like. So I ask you, who is for this? People are getting hurt. People are about to get hurt over some voting, which is all right, and people are allowing it to happen. But you fight for equality, and you speak out and you speak up. You see how that went, and the media turned that around, made it look like it was a bad. And now look, make it make sense. And yet, when one can stand in front of a nation and tell lies to get people worked up, make that make sense. How is that good for us? How is it going to be an economy if we have this here? Nobody thought about that because nobody thinks, because it shows that people weren't coming from a really good place with this. This shit brought out the ugly in people, real ugly. Take a look, blocking people and demanding all these stupid things. Like, did you even just ask that question? They're counting these votes, and there's people watching them count these votes. Just because someone bring some doubt into it doesn't mean that it's cheating. People, you need to wake up and stop letting yourself be influenced by somebody you don't even know. That's the crazy part. You don't even know. But let me ask you, is it bringing out the good in you, the best in you? Are you treating people right? Are you being hateful? Somebody that done nothing to you. You better knock it off because you reap what you sow, and you are really sowing some stuff. And for people that are leaders that are sitting back and letting it happen, that shows your integrity. Because let me tell you something. This is not anything close to what America should be or even says it stands for. So let's go pull out that Constitution, the preamble, declaration. Let's pull it out. And I'll tell you this much, it's going against everything that that Constitution says. Anything that's destructive, I think that was the word used in there, and brought forward and basically goes against the very meaning of the Constitution, gotta go. Might want to go read that. And so for our leaders, what are you doing? You didn't think nobody could read, or that we are educated enough to know better? Is this because this right here? We thought like a while back, like, okay, now this right here is obviously people will see. No. So either this is what people want, mayhem and destruction, and they wake up and they desire this. Okay, but it's only going to get you nothing but misery, because for a fine place to be that strengthens itself off of God we trust, and one nation under God, it sounded really fake, because God, there has no God in this. But how about we do stand for something? At one point in time, we kind of did. See, because the person that created the Constitution, he even went against it, but it came from a place, and then someone came along, and went ahead and said, we're going to embody this. Abraham Lincoln, all these presidents came together and they put this in place and signed it. No matter what anyone thinks, why, how, when, it's there. It implement. It shows very much so how all of us, yes, even the Dr. Martin Luther King spoke on. You better start embodying something. You say you're American, then you better own that shit. You do with the program. It's for all of us, that we are all created equal, and by our Creator giving certain unalienable rights. So let's start owning it and holding some truth to it. And for leadership, better get right with it. Are you just gonna sit here and let someone just shit all over what we stand for? I don't think so. It's not, because we all live here and we all have families here. Do you think this won't affect all of our families? Don't bring on something that we don't have to. But this right here, this is for fools. This is a joke. How is there this happening, people? And then it just shows that something's not right in the water. People, you just say anything and they believe it. You couldn't even start to believe that these people have families. You're like, dude, you've been like this all your life. Equality, and we see none. So I ask you, when are we going to start standing by what the basis, the most important documents to this country? Because as of right now, everything it spoke of and it said that it would not stand for has happened. So it's a little disrespectful. It's disrespectful to the creation of those documents and what we stand for. It's disrespectful to our military, because they fight, they put their life in the line because they love their country and their citizens that they protect, and then we sit around and fight each other. What kind of mess as other countries look like? What's going on over there? Like we're a joke. I wonder how that happened. I'll wait. Was it Obama? No, it wasn't. So people stop saying that. Go sit down somewhere. He ain't the president. Let's focus on what's going on now. Stop putting blame everywhere. Grow up. Grow up. We can't even also just keep pointing at Donald Trump. You know what I mean? Because we can clearly see what we're dealing with. But you got to start to ask yourself, why? I mean, Donald Trump ain't out there making you act a fool. Get it together. Stand for something. All he did was just bring out the ugly in somebody that didn't like themselves in the first place. Brought out the ugly in you. You can thank him for that, because he thanked you when he left you outside in the cold. What kind of leader is that? But let's stop giving him all the credit, because it's too easy to do that, right? Because think about it, he just stands there and you know. But come on, dude, you are lying to people, putting doubt. That's what people do. They tell you something over and over again. You can be looking at a banana and somebody will stand there and say, "This is an apple." You're like, "No, that's a banana." No, no, it's an apple. Repetition telling you, and then after it's not working, they go, "You're crazy," and make it seem like discredit you, like you don't know what you're talking about. Come on, people, wake up. The only way we're going to be great is to be better people and make ourselves great so that we can do great things. You have to. We have to for our children. What are we building for them? We'll be back shortly. Don't go too far.